We're Batman at 89.
Hello, and welcome once again to Bat Minutes 89, the podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and hurtle towards Tim Burton's 1989 Batman film 1 minute at a time. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
I am another one of the hosts, John Parker, and I am here to cast a grisly silhouette over your nights.
Oh, grisly. Nice. But today we're joined all the way from the Dark Knight Minute by, I'll let you two fellas introduce yourselves.
I'm Adam the creator, but you can call me Adam for short.
Nice and short, yep. And I am Luke, a.k.a. Darth Laric from the Dark Knight Minute.
And we'll just call you Darth from now on.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Thanks for joining us, guys. You're here for minute 100. Minute 100 of Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah.
This is the last one,
100.
right? This is the end, yeah?
Yes, it's not a whole final act to go at all.
Yeah, it seems very fitting that we're on 100. That now that the two Batman podcasts has finally come together, it's quite symbolic, if you will, or
Yes, a joining of the forces. A super team up for the ages.
It's just pure coincidence as well, because it's like you asked for a specific scene. It happened to fall on 100, so there you go.
yeah, I love this part of the movie. It like when Adam was like, "Okay, what minutes do you want?" I'm like, "Oh, I want the long gun."
Oh, I have some
I
things
love
to say
that
about
scene.
that gun. I've researched that when we get there.
Yeah, I should probably just do our usual little thing of saying minute 100 begins with the Joker's goons chasing the crowds of Gotham away, and it ends 1 minute later with Batman setting his sights on the Joker.
Yeah, I'm still depressed from last week. Like, I'm so sad that Bob has gone. I'm not over it.
Yeah, you guys are here for the wake of Bob, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love Bob though, because I remember just watching him in like the making of, and how like this really, really just minor character just got elevated up to status of the Joker's best friend. And wasn't the actor like Jack Nicholson's best friend? And they're just like, yeah, I want this guy as my main henchman.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like he vouched for him. He's like, you should really get in Tracy Walter to do this part. And they kind of just became, this guy's the Joker's best bud now, apparently.
Well, you don't say to Jack Nicholson, no, you're not bringing that guy, do you? If you've managed to persuade
no,
Jack Nicholson to
not
come
at
and play
all.
the Joker in your Batman movie, you accept whatever he says.
It's not like in the Marlon Brando and the Island of Dr. Moreau, where he's just like, that little, like the world's smallest man, that little tiny midget guy, I want him. And they're like, he's not in this movie. He's my best friend in the movie now. And I'm going to wear a bucket of ice in my head. And they're just like, okay, Marlon, we'll do whatever you want.
Why not?
And then Jack Nicholson found out years later, I could have done that. Of course I would have had that guy instead of Tracy Walter. But would have been a very different movie had that the little mini-me guy from the Island of Dr. Moreau was actually Bob. Arguably, it might have actually made it a better movie. But
Oh, that's not for us to say, Niall. That's not our mandate. But I feel bad for the Joker as well, because the look on his face, I think he's not regretting shooting Bob, but he feels bad that he had to do it. In his mind, he had to do it, but it's a shame, isn't it? He looks upset.
had to do it. It's like,
In his mind,
He probably thinks it's a waste.
yeah, he's like, oh, we could have had more great times together, me and Bob, but look what's happened. I've had to get rid of him. What a shame.
and then, of course, we get a swift reminder that, this film was made in England by Fedora Goon, Carl Chase, coming out with his "Get out of here," which is
Not the best accent.
yeah. This is as we were talking about when I guessed it on the Dark Knight Minute, up there to rival Tom Wilkinson's terrible American accent in Batman Begins.
What? He's coming here?
We're not the best at doing these voices, I'll be honest. And is this guy, Fedora Goon, I think I asked this last week actually, but I'm asking again. I don't care. We've had a weekend to mull it over. Is he the new second in command. That seems
guess
to be
so.
the implication. He's like the new Bob.
Well, if you look at I never noticed before, but I've got it frozen. As he's saying, "Get out of here," and he turns his head, you can see a sort of lanky, what looks like a blonde hair coming out the back, a long blonde hair coming out of the back of his hat. Maybe he's literally transforming into Bob now. He used to have short black hair, and now Bob's dead, and all of a sudden he just starts transforming. His hair just grows into Bob's hair, and then he already has the hat and the jacket. You just see a bit more stubble springs out of his face, and he's done. This is Bob 2. It's like Devo. It's Bob and Bob 2.
But are you suggesting that either is he basing his look on Bob to replace Bob, or are you suggesting that much like the Dalai Lama, the soul of Bob has transferred into this new vessel?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm on board with this theory.
Because Bob's so damn loyal. He's instantly back on the job now in this new body because he's just like, I get it. He had to shoot me because of the balloons for whatever reason. Yeah, let's get back to business.
It transferred through the gun. I mean, because remember, Joker's like, Bob, gun. Bob pulls his gun out, shoots him, then he hands that exact gun to the new goon. So it comes through the gun.
Amazing, like Tim Burton announces, like, I'm making another Batman movie. And it's like Fallen. It's like the soul of Bob is still traveling around. It's like Twin Peaks. It's just like, yes, Bob is now this dark entity that hops from body to body.
You could genuinely write like an alternate universe Batman comic where the Joker reincarnates. Like, because he's died. Has he died once, twice? I don't know. It's a comic book. They can die and come back at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, just drop him in the Lazarus pit.
Yeah. So you could do that, but he comes back in a different body each time. That would be cool. I want to write that. Let's get that underway. Let's screw this podcast. Let's get writing.
Well, they have done weird things like, I know in Scott Snyder's
Snot Snyder.
I know in his run he had the whole business of the Joker cut off his own face and then kind of was wearing his own face as a mask and stuff, and then there was when it goes into Endgame, there's a janitor character who's been knocking about for a while, and it's just like, oh, it's just some innocent janitor, and then it turns out that's the Joker now. He's like it's almost, he might as well have just switched bodies. Like, he's just so facial reconstructive surgery and everything else to the point of like Batman just doesn't recognize him. It's like the Master in Doctor Who or something, where they just every couple of years they just go, oh, hey, this random character here who we didn't know who it was, turns out that was the Master the whole time, and he's the big bad guy. It's the same kind of idea, but you could totally do that with this, or with the Joker, or Bob. Just either one would work for me.
That'd be great. I'm on board. Something I'm not so on board with, though, right? This Fedora goon, he starts shooting the gun into the air, to get everybody to scram. We see the bullets flying around, people running. But if you see, the bullets like bounce and fly off this beam. But he's pointing the gun directly into the air. So how exactly is he aiming the bullet at that beam? That makes no sense.
I think it's the other goons, because you see the other goons pull out their guns too before, and I think they're shooting it above the heads of the crowds to get them to disperse.
That would make more sense, I think, because it does they're quite rapid shots. So, and he's only got a pistol, isn't he? So it would make a bit more sense. I'm on board with that, because I was thinking that's highly peculiar. And why are they not just killing people? They're all angry. They're trying to kill people anyway with gas. Screw it. Just
no, that's Batman's job.
In this movie, Batman doesn't give a damn.
It is.
No, he doesn't.
It's kind of weird though, because like we went over last minute, and the fact that the Joker was gassing people, and then even after that was taken care of, the crowds were still gathered to pick up the money, and it's like it's kind of like the goons have to resort to this like. There's no other way to get rid of these people or to endanger them than to just start shooting them and stuff. It's like, that's how desperate the people of Gotham are for the money on the street. It's like, oh, they're shooting at us. I guess we better move now,
Have you guys gone over whether or not the money is actually real or not? Because I've heard that if you look at the bills really closely, that it actually has the Joker's face on the dollar bill.
Yeah. In the script. and in some of the drafts and stuff, they had it as fake money, and that was like part of the joke. Like he's got all these people out, he's throwing cash to them, and it turns out it's not real. But they cut like the actual explanation of that from the finished product, which is strange. So we're not sure if in the final movie it's supposed to be fake.
Yeah.
Or they've changed it, because nobody really reacts. You don't see anyone pick it up and go, huh? Which is what you'd normally do. So
I think we kind of came to the conclusion that maybe they cut it because you see people still gathering it in the background, and it'd been like, well, at this point, people must have noticed it was fake by now, right? And then they were like, yeah, if we cut out that it was fake money, then it looks okay that all these people are still just trying to get as many bills as they can and stuff, instead of just been like, let's get out of here,
I did try and zoom in on a still to make out the cash, but on the on a DVD copy that we're using, it's not the easiest thing to make out. We need to upgrade to Blu-ray, Niall.
Need to just get that Blade Runner technology of just like enhance 90 degrees and all that.
Don't get me started on that. That makes no sense to me, but never mind. Batman would have that technology.
I'm pretty sure Batman does have that technology. I'm 99.9% certain at some point he would have done a thing with the Bat computer where he's just like, computer, enhance this one segment, and then somehow turn the corner of the door where it's like, how the hell do you do? That's not in the picture, man. What the hell are you doing? But...
No, it reminds me of, have you guys ever seen Under the Red Hood?
Oh, yeah.
Niall has. I have not.
Yeah, like in the movie, like you see like footage that he records from his cow while he's pursuing the Red Hood, and he like says something, and then you see a train go by and like completely overmask everything, and then he goes through and like enhances the audio until he can isolate exactly what he says. And I'm just thinking, with my years of audio editing experience, yeah, you can't do that. No, that I crossed the line. You cannot do that at all.
Maybe you just haven't learned the technique.
Yeah, apparently not. That would be really useful. And I would imagine that would like completely get rid of the need for any ADR in the future if people found out how to do it. Because, it seems like 90 to 95% of the dialogue in movies anymore is done through ADR, just because the audio on set is so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm passionate about this because I've done production audio before, and yeah, that's really the biggest pain of that job is just trying to control the environment, and you just can't. So it really sucks when you have a director who's like, oh no, I want it authentic. I do not want to do ADR. It's like, well, tough. We're doing ADR because you decided to shoot in a crappy location.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be wonderful to have authentic, live audio, but it's not always possible. I have noticed though that lately with movies, I'm not sure if you've spotted it in your Batman franchise here, but the ADR seems less obvious to me. I don't know if they've just got better at it or stitching it all together. But when it's ADR'd, like in this movie, you can just instantly tell. Like there's no mistaking it. You're like, and it takes you out of it for a second when you're analyzing it minute by minute. You go, wait a minute, that's not right. But in modern movies, I don't notice it so much.
Yeah, maybe the technology has gotten better. I do know that there are different ways of doing it that make it a lot easier. There's something called looping, and pretty much all that is when you take the piece of dialogue, like you don't even show them the footage, you just give them the piece of dialogue on set, and then they just have the actor repeat it over and over and over again until it's like exactly the same. And so that's like the quickest, cheapest, and easiest way of doing it. Although I think a lot of studios still do the ADR where they show them the footage, and the problem with doing it that way is that the actors tried to outperform their previous performance when that take, it was approved by the director and everything, so you want to recapture that performance as best as you can. But yeah, looping, man, that's we've had to do that on a movie that me and my friend have been working on, so
oh god, you know the pain.
I know the pain, and I don't have the luxury of having a sound stage to record it on either. So
what?
Yeah, we're just like recording these in my friend's apartment, and then we have to like move because we can hear the neighbors playing this mariachi band in the background, and so you're just like a recording. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Hey, it might add to the scene. Leave it in. Leave it all in. Something I wish they didn't leave in this. Right, this annoys me. Great shot, but this is a problem I have with lots of movies. Right, you see the Batwing. It's swooping around. It's flying all over the place. It's ascending into the sky. But why is he spinning and twisting the Batwing?
Yeah.
There's no reason, right? They do it in the new Star Wars movies as well. And I don't want to slate that. I love the new Star Wars movies. But unnecessary spinning.
Well, you have to try spinning, John. I mean, it's been found to be a good trick. That's
a good trick.
I was about to say, I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
It probably is. Again, it's part of the bad PR campaign where he's like, people are seeing the plane. I better try to look cool. And he's just like, look at all these little maneuvers I'm doing. Because, pretty much this entire next segment is like, is any of this necessary? Did he need to swoop all the way up to... this classic shot here goes up through the clouds, and then he has a cute little moment where, like, kind of like E.T.-esque sort of thing, where you see the outline of the Batwing in the silhouetted in the moon, and it's just the bat symbol. And it's like, like when I was a kid, I was like, that's awesome. And now I'm like, I don't know if you needed to put that in.
It is the cover for the soundtrack, so yeah, they love that picture.
Very
in that
specifically,
movie,
though,
so.
it's the Danny Elfman score. That it's like it's in the war between him and Prince. It's like Prince got the poster to be on his album cover for his soundtrack, like that official the orange bat symbol. And then it's just like, well, Danny Elfman, he wants a bat symbol as well. And it's like, we can't just give him the same one. So we had to give him this.
Invert the colors. No, I think this also would have worked as a poster, though. This is poster bait, this shot.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yes.
You could put that up, around town on billboards, at bus stops and things. And if you see that, you'd be like, oh, I'm interested in this. Even though in the movie, when you see it, right, I love it. It's brilliant. But it's stupid at the same time, if that makes sense. Because as you say, there's no need for it to happen. Why is he doing it?
Exactly. I don't know. I think it's kind of our curse as Movie by Minute podcasters. We look at all these things and we're trying to find out the reasons behind them. And yeah, I'm totally with you. It's so awesome to watch. But then as you're looking at it minute at a time, you're like, okay, why? And then like you're showing off. But who are you showing off for aside from us?
Yeah. And will anyone even be looking up to the moon? Like, they're all panicking and running for their lives, literally. So I don't think anyone's paying attention.
They can't see through the cloud cover either.
And the cloud, yeah, good point.
Yeah, not only that, but the camera is placed at the exact place that you needed to be in order for that shot to work, because otherwise he's just flying up and then going down. And so it's like unless there's like one parachuter that's just at the right place at the right time, nobody's gonna see that other than the audience.
Well, that's actually something we haven't considered, is it? Like, maybe this is maybe he's not trying to do that. Maybe the movie is just showing us it from this angle because it looks cool from this angle within the world of the movie. Maybe Batman's just flying up to get some good speed coming back down or something. Yeah, he's not trying to be cool. He's not trying to show off.
That's the magic of movie making, my friend. Just it's all about showing the audience the best part.
I'm slightly distracted though by it because I've got that image frozen. It's just like the fake clouds underneath and the starry backdrop. I'm kind of expecting like two singers to come out from either side. Like, this is like a big West End production. It looks like something from like Phantom of the Opera, and this is all like the dry ice is coming on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
And you're expecting like the Jared Butler to come out from the side, like this is his whole backdrop. But one did also do a little. This is a bit tangential, but I thought it was interesting enough. Because, as
us to go on a tangent,
but just as a little, we like to do the everything's connected. So I did note the Bat Plane originally was a co-creation of Gardner Francis Cooper Fox and Sheldon Moldoff, and both guys have done a lot of work on the Batman comics throughout the years. But Gardner Francis Cooper Fox. He created Barbara Gordon, for one thing. He created the Batarang. And then Sheldon Moldoff created Calendar Man and Clayface and Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy.
Everyone.
That might. And then what caught my eye is that he created Aunt Harriet, who's sort of most famously known from the 60s TV show. She's Dick Grayson's actual aunt who ended up getting into the Wayne Mansion. And I think in the comics she took over from Alfred when he got crushed by that boulder that time.
No, and I'm sad.
Yeah, but one thing of note about Aunt Harriet is that classically in the TV show, she's played by a woman called Madge Blake. And then in the recent animated show, or the animated film, The Return of the Cape Crusaders, she was played by Lynn Marie Stewart, who most people now would know is from playing Charlie's mum, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So it's Danny DeVito link right there, Batman Returns. But she was also a staple in Pee-wee's Playhouse, and she was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which was the directorial debut of Tim Burton. So there you go.
It's all connected. Yeah. Hashtag.
Hey!
Yeah. Done it again. The master at work. That's crazy. That is... She's amazing as well. I love her.
Oh yeah, she is great, and she's great as Aunt Harriet in that animated film. So highly recommend people look that up. But
yeah, that was like the best Batman movie to come out in 2016. It topped Batman v Superman, it topped Suicide Squad, and it even topped The Killing Joke. The Killing Joke was the biggest disappointment of that year, but freaking Adam West delivered that year.
It was very odd to be like, the campy, jokey one is the one that's the one that works.
Yeah, that was the only one that worked that year. It was a bad year for Batman.
Someone let me borrow their copy of The Killing Joke, and as soon as they gave me it, I heard such bad things. I haven't had the heart to put it on. I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
Here's what I recommend. Go ahead and skip the first half hour to 35 minutes. If you do that, it's wonderful. Just watch the last half of the movie. It's great. It's a very, very good adaptation of the comic book. But the problem is that at the very, very beginning, they had to add this really weird prologue that just really ruined it for a lot of people.
I heard about this.
Again, it's not so much that they had to do it; they just chose to do it, and it's like, this adds nothing. It's almost because I think they were concerned that the character of Barbara Gordon was there just to be a plot point. It was just like, she gets shot by the Joker.
Yeah,
and it's like, we need to give her more. And then it's just more like, well, all you've done is given her, she just treads water for a bit, and then the same thing happens. And it's just like, well, she's just as useless as she was in the original story. It's just that you've added in this half hour of useless crap on top of it as well. It's bizarre.
Yeah, It was trying to be progressive and show her as the hero for once, and it didn't do that. It failed miserably. Yeah. And it just got super awkward, and because there's a sex scene between her and Batman, and it's just wait, what? But that's her surrogate dad. Ew, why?
That's
oh God.
I do have faith though, because I know there is one in the works. I'm pretty certain now there should be a good Batgirl representation on screen coming at some point. It's gotta be.
Oh, it's definitely possible, and I am waiting wholeheartedly for it. But Killing Joke was not it.
No, not at all.
But, something I do really like. Here we get a close up of the Batwing as it's flying along, and you can see all the little details on it. And obviously we've seen plenty of different models of it already, but this is really detailed. I like you can see the panels on the wings. It actually looks kind of like you see on certain planes and things. It's good little attention that.
Yeah.
There is something really funny about that shot though, as it's flying down and you can see all the little rivets on the plane. The light hits the top of the plane. And that doesn't make any sense because it looks like it's a floodlight that's supposed to be hitting it.
Yeah.
And that should be hitting the bottom as opposed to the top.
The wonders of movies. Never question the lighting. You are right, though.
But I do love around that whole section as well, as it's just coming down. So I think we were talking last week with Zoe just about like how much the music adds to the, particularly the beginning of the scene, because it's just Batman flying about. But the score makes it seem like it's the most exciting thing ever. But if you took away that music, it'll be like, oh yeah, it's just a plane. It's not too dramatic.
Yeah, he's not really doing anything at the moment.
But I do love it's a great combination of the sound effect and the music as he's coming down, because it sounds like kind of stock footage of like a fighter jet crashing. It's just a real like that kind of thing. And then it's just the Elfman. Yeah. And then the Elfman score kicking into like a real and you're really like, oh, here we go. This is really, really exciting stuff. But if you took that away, it would just be like, yep, that's a plane. It's going right past there. But
have you guys ever watched the it's a shot of the ending of the New Hope in Star Wars, like at the very end where they're receiving the medals, and then they took out the John Williams score.
Yeah,
it is the most awkward thing I've ever watched. It is amazing.
I'm assuming,
and it just.
I'm assuming that's what it would be like for those characters, like in the movie, because nobody's playing music at that ceremony, are they? Like you can't see that a rebel band.
I was kind of always under the assumption like this was the one time where it's like, well, there must be a band somewhere, because it'd be weird if you didn't have music during a whole big ceremony. But then, you don't see them on screen, so it's like, I guess they had to do it in silence.
Yeah, they didn't give us the luxury of showing us an XLR port that would just hook into the house sound system and they just plug in their iPhone. It's like, okay, what sounds good? Oh, John Williams. There you
Put
go.
that on.
Perfect.
Put it on shuffle. John Williams. There you go. It'll suit any mood.
Talking about, gadgetry. So we do get a few shots of Batwings zooming down here, and then the crowd still dispersing. And then we go in, we see Batman fumble with some buttons again. And I know, John, you were saying like when we covered this last time that like, they actually went and looked at the inside of planes and stuff so that they could be accurate. But then like one of these buttons is like there's a volume knob.
Volume.
Yeah.
And then there's a dimmer switch. I was like,
right. I was
that
going to
for?
bring that up too, because I'm like, wait a minute. And I had to pause it and like just try to get it just right. I'm like, okay, I clearly see volume. Why is he turning the volume off or on or whatever he's doing? And then why is there a dimmer next to it?
He's turning his Danny Elfman music up. He needs it to be full blast while he swoops down, get in the mood. No, I have no answer, to be honest, because, just minutes ago, it was an accurate representation of aircraft, switches and things. And now we're getting this. All I can think is either nobody in the movie cared anymore, or the only other explanation is maybe Batman is hiding that it has weapons, because that's... I mean, it's crazy enough that he's got a plane, but he's got a plane with miniguns and rockets. That would probably look quite bad to some people. So maybe it's to hide it in case anybody steals the plane.
Maybe. I mean, I guess that is a logical explanation for it.
That's all I can come up with.
I think I like the music one a little bit more, and then but the thing is, he only gets CD technology until the next movie, so he hasn't gotten to that point yet. But next movie, we will have CD technology.
I love that little detail. I can't wait to talk about that. Let's just skip ahead. Let's just cut all this out.
It'd be great though. You just see like spoilers for what's coming up, but like once the plane's crashed. And then just the Batman's tape cassette, all the actual tapes spooled out everywhere. He's like, oh man, my cassette's ruined.
Oh no, my mixtape.
No. When he does press these, though.
The mixtape is on fire, man. It's lit.
That is something I never expected to hear from a Batman show. Maybe from a Prince one, but not so much from Batman. When he presses these buttons, though, then all of the weapons sort of activate. And we see the ones I've just mentioned. You see the miniguns and you see the rockets. So I researched the guns because I don't know much about guns. So I thought, as usual, I would do a little bit of looking into them. Because I assumed they were just made up for the movie. Like, just make some big machine guns. They'll look cool. But no, they are General Electric M134 miniguns. They were the one that people call the minigun.
Okay.
Yeah, they were produced in 1962 and they have a rate of fire, this is quite a range, of between 2,000 and 6,000 rounds a minute. I'm not sure what the range there is, but that sounds like a lot as well. That sounds crazy. And they would generally, this is a good attention to detail again, they would use them on aircraft. People wouldn't really carry them around like in movies, like in Predator. Things.
Was it like the guns used in Vietnam or something, like on the helicopters?
Yeah, they would attach them to the helicopters because they were so heavy, and the kickback on them and things. So that's why when you do see them being carried around in a movie, it would tend to be like big guys carrying, like a bodybuilder. They would always get, like Arnie would carry one, or Jesse Ventura would carry one, because it just weighed so much, even when they haven't got the power for it, because it needs to be externally powered as well.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, you can't carry it around and fire it. So this is good. It's on the Batwing. Perfect. That's what it would be used for. Although that Batwing's pretty small and light. So maybe when he starts firing that thing, it might cause some problems. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, due to the shape of the plane, I have a lot of doubts about the legitimate aerodynamics of this machine. And
I did too.
Factoring in weight is another aspect of that.
What are you talking about? It's shaped like a bat. Bats fly.
I do love the design on the Batwing in this, just because it's so like comic booky.
Yeah.
Like you look at like the new ones, and like in the Dark Knight, or even for all the way forward to Batman v Superman, they always have like this stealth plane look to it, and no, this one just looks like a bat.
Yeah,
like it's so on the nose. It's wonderful. It's kind of like this version of the Batmobile. It's just like, yeah, of course that's the Batmobile. And then you look at the Tumbler. As much as I love it, you like, if it wasn't in that movie and they put it into something else, you can be convinced that it was another vehicle for something else.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at the Batmobile, it's like, yeah, it's obviously the Batmobile.
I like that. The way it's like done as some things in this movie, it sells it straight, like serious. But then you get things like he's flying this damn Batwing. It's like, I love that little combination of tones and things. I think it works really well. It doesn't lean too far one way or the other.
I think I always forgave the Tumbler myself, because I assumed, because that was it's Batman Begins. So it's like, he has this big, tank thing initially. And then it's like, well, it gets destroyed in the Dark Knight. It's like, maybe in the third one, he'll come back with more of like a Batmobile-esque Batmobile, because he's had the time now. And then they just went, nope, no, just Tumblers again. And he still just got that motorbike. It's like, all right then. You did not go down the route I assumed you were going to go with it, but that's fine. That's cool.
I've not thought about that, actually. I would have liked to have seen... We should probably save this if I ever appear on your show. But I would have liked to have seen him take the Tumbler and change it and adapt it. But it's still the same sort of shell. But it looks more Batman as the movies go on.
Yeah.
A bit more silly, almost. Like it kind of becomes a bit more over the top, and maybe that could be a plot point. Like, he's gone too far. It's stupid.
It is Master Wayne. Your obsession with shaping everything like a bat symbol is wildly impractical. Leave me alone, Alfred.
I gotta say, you do a better Alfred than we do.
Yeah, we say everybody has a Michael Caine impression, but your guys' is so much better.
Have you watched the Trip with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon? It's like I think it was released in America as a film, but it was a TV show over here. It was like, I think they just slotted all the episodes into one big movie.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
but it's two guys going around. Like, they're just two famous comedians over here. And it's just so them. There's one of them going. I can't remember where the original Trip is, but then there's the Trip in Italy and whatnot. And it's just them basically going around restaurants, kind of riffing. And there's a mild plot line, but it's majoritively an opportunity for them to improv. And there's a great bit with Rob Brydon where he starts going into his Michael Caine impersonation, and he's talking about him crying in Dark Knight Rises, and it's great because he's just doing a whole bit of, I won't bury another Batman, Master Wayne. What do you mean bury another Batman? How many Batman is he killed? So I've got a cave full of dead Batmen back there, and I won't lose you, Master Wayne. I won't lose you. I'll send you the YouTube clip. It's great.
You know what? I actually haven't seen The Trip, so now that's even more incentive for me to watch.
But talking about a trip, hey, this movie, what a trip!
Oh, what a trip, man! It's out there.
But we do get this really nice shot then of the guns come out, and then we get the Joker sort of still in his moment alone, sort of mulling things over, wandering down the street as people are just running away. No one's trying to take him out. No one's being the hero and stepping up and trying to go over and deck this guy and maybe citizens arrest or whatever. But then he notices from the huge matte painting in front of him, the bat wing.
Huge matte painting. It's a great matte painting, though. It's a lost art.
It is fantastic, but it's just very blatantly like, oh, there's a matte painting. And then he obviously has his, classic line of dialogue of, come on, you gruesome son of a bitch, come to me. Which is, the scene that gets sort of leading us into tomorrow's minute, because we get then Batman sort of acknowledges him, like locks eyes with him as well, and we get the two of them sort of kind of a Sergio Leone standoff, only with one of them's in a plane, basically.
Yeah, slightly escalating things there.
Yeah, just a smidge. You guys, do you have any more notes for the? Because obviously you can get into that, but like that's more next minute, I think, really.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys want to. Have you got notes specific to this minute you want to bring up, or should we just move on?
No, I'm good with my notes.
Well, I have a question. Because you said it, Niall. He says, "Come on, you gruesome son of a bitch." What? Why gruesome? Why? Because he's a Batman. What's he done that's gruesome? Made him kill Bob?
He just killed all of his henchmen in that last run.
Well, you'd think Joker probably wouldn't care. Like he's not particularly fond of the henchmen, is he? They're sort of a tool. So I just thought it was a very strange wording. Gruesome.
Yeah, it might have been just one of those, language barrier things, where like if this was in reality or like an Al Pacino version of Batman, this would be huge.
Pacino want to be amazing. Come on, son of a bitch. Come to me.
But I imagine they would just be like laying F-bombs left, right, and center. So it's just like, yeah, he'd be like, come on, you fucking son of a bitch. Like it would have been something, you motherfucker, or something like things we will obviously have to bleep out.
Yeah, it's a lot of bleeping for you there.
I think with this, they're just like, yeah, just gruesome. It's just like, yeah, it's like he's describing it as being unpleasant. So I guess it's fine,
Unless he's...
Yeah, Jack Nicholson was one that tended to do a lot of ad-libbing while he was filming, and I almost wonder if that was just kind of something that he just said, and then they're like, okay, yep, we love it, it's great. It's like, but I don't know, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's like, oh, it was in the moment. It was that's Joker,
To be fair, it makes more sense than never rub another man's rhubarb or.
I love that line. I love that line so much.
So many things the guy comes out with make no sense. So I guess they're like, gruesome son of a bitch is fine in comparison.
That can stay. Yeah. I wonder what things he came out with that they had to cut. I want to hear half of the stuff they had to cut out.
Yeah, we need a reel of all of Jack Nicholson's ad lib. Just the same scenes over and over with him saying it different ways.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
Yeah, Yeah, because every take was like a different thing that he did. Like he went and changed it up on every single take. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's good. And again, you don't argue with Jack Nicholson. If he wants to do that, you go, okay. You're not going to go, Jack, can you stop that, please? He'd be like, well, I'm gone. I'm out here. See ya. I'm not doing your stupid
it's
superhero
lunchtime.
movie. Yeah, it's lunchtime.
But it's one of those things of it reminds me of like used to get a lot in 80s cartoons and in the 90s as well. I think they're a bit more deft-handed at it now, but like this obviously isn't directly a children's film. It's obviously supposed to be there's a bit more not adult film either. It's supposed to be a bit more in between. But I always remember in like cartoons when I was growing up, like obviously you couldn't swear. And then they'd always have a thing. It's like I think they had an aversion to talking about people dying. So I always remember that they'd always be like, "I'll destroy you," or one of them I remember even as a kid been like, "What?" Like there's an episode of Thundercats where like Mum-Ra's and they're monologuing, and he's going like, "If the Thundercats discover this, I'm done." And it's just like surely we would have said like, "I'm dead" or whatever. But I think they have to like you can't have people going, "I'll kill you," and you can't say the word "dead." It's just too harsh for children's programming. So it kind of reminded me of that of like, oh, I guess gruesome's a better version of something more insulting, basically. That they're like, tone it down a little bit. But that son of a bitch is like, that's an adult insult. So I guess they're, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
It's Jack being Jack in both actor and character.
Unless the Joker's just referring to Batman being so gruesome when he threw him into the vat of chemicals. I don't know.
Yeah, he might be blaming him in a way, which he doesn't really go that much into, does he? Because I think he seems to embrace his new side. But maybe he secretly deep down is angry at him for it.
He does get into the whole. He does seem a bit more angry about it later on.
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil it. Yeah, Shush, save it.
But yeah, I think I'm good to go, and if you guys are.
Yep.
So yes, that does it for minute 100 of Batman 89. Before we do go, guys, would you like to tell our good listeners where they can find you and your show and whatnot online?
Yeah, you can find us on any podcatcher. Just search for Dark Knight Minute. You can also go to our website, geekmindfusion.com, and you can find all of our social media links there, and you can find our episodes there as well. So, yeah, we're not too hard to find.
Yeah, make sure to check it out because, I mean, if you like this Batman, you probably like that Batman. Surely. These are the two cool Batmen. These are the ones you want to get into. So, obviously, These are the two cool shows. So check that out and check us out. We are on Facebook at the Batminute 89 Listeners Society, and we're on Twitter at Batminute 89. Look us up on Instagram and Tumblr as well. And also, of course, iTunes. Most important, iTunes. And join us again on Wednesday, because we will be back with minute 101, believe it or not. Adios.
Next time, Miss Bang Bang. Amidst a pyrotechnic plastering of poorly aimed projectiles with a poisonous picador be poised to plug our embarreled protagonist with his peculiarly protracted piece. Find out Wednesday. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.